Okay, let's dive into something that offers a really unique perspective on the turmoil we're seeing, especially in cities right now.
Yeah.
You know, that feeling a lot of us have, witnessing confusion, conflict,
Yeah.
sometimes just, well, chaos. It can feel pretty overwhelming.
It absolutely can. And what's really fascinating about the source material we're looking at today is how it connects those, seemingly local street level events to much larger patterns, cosmic patterns even, as it describes them.
Right, and this source is, well, it's presented as a message from something called the Pleiadian Collective, shared through a YouTube channel.
That's the one. We're exploring that specific perspective.
And this particular message, it zeroes in on the agitation happening in one American city. A place it says carries the frequency of creative vision and deep contrast.
Exactly. And it gives a very distinct explanation for why this kind of intensity is happening there. It's looking at it from this broader energetic viewpoint.
So our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack this unusual perspective.
Right. We want to understand the core ideas in this source, see how it frames what's going on, and explore what insights it might offer about navigating these challenging times. All according to this specific message, of course.
Think of it as exploring a unique narrative lens.
Precisely.
So first up, according to this source, the agitation in this city, it calls it the City of Angels, later on, it's not just random chaos.
No, not from this viewpoint.
Yeah.
It's presented as having a deeper significance. The source describes it as both a catalyst and a mirror.
A mirror for what?
Much bigger movements happening globally. So while on the surface you see confusion, conflict, underneath the message argues there's a deep energetic recalibration happening and a revelation of truth.
Okay, energetic recalibration. What does that actually mean in this context?
Well, from how the source presents it, it seems to mean a fundamental shift in the underlying energy frequencies, both for the planet and for human consciousness.
Like an upgrade, sort of.
Kind of, yeah. The idea is the Earth's energy field, the collective human energy field, it's all being adjusted. And the intense agitation we see, well, it serves a purpose in this view.
What is?
To shake and loosen these deeply ingrained layers of illusion. Illusions, the source says, exist in the collective mind.
Wow. That's a big claim.
Yeah.
That the chaos is actually breaking down illusions.
It is. And the source talks about this happening on two levels. A dual orchestration, it calls it.
Dual orchestration. Okay, tell me more.
Right, so it suggests the turmoil is influenced from two different levels simultaneously. First, there's what it calls the lower level.
Lower level.
Driven by fear, desire for control. It mentions hidden conductors of chaos who are deliberately trying to incite division.
Hidden conductors. How do they do that, according to the source?
It says they manipulate narratives, they spread fear, specifically to pit human against human.
Why? What's the goal?
The goal, according to this message, is to operate from the shadows to create more fear, more separation, based on the idea that, a divided and fearful population is easier to control.
Okay, so that's one layer. Intentional manipulation, maybe even conspiratorial stuff. What's the other level, the higher orchestration?
This is described as a divine unfolding. It's a perspective that suggests even these really difficult, dense events are actually being used as opportunities for awakening.
Opportunities, how?
The message emphasizes that the heavy energy is getting stirred up. Well, they cannot stay hidden anymore. Everything hidden, it says, is being exposed, brought out into this increasing light.
So the agitation itself becomes a kind of exposure, bringing things to the surface.
That's exactly the interpretation offered. It sees this as bringing dark agendas into view, which the message claims can no longer hide.
Okay.
And it argues that these old frequencies, tyranny, control through fear, they're being directly confronted now by what it calls ascending frequencies of transparency and empowerment for all.
So a clash of frequencies.
In a way, yes. And the message gives this assurance, saying for every darkness stirred, a greater light rises in response. The overall direction, it suggests, is towards awakening and liberation.
Right.
It even makes this really strong statement. Everything the shadow attempts now will be turned upside down and broadcast into the light for all to see.
That implies the city isn't just some random place for all this intensity. It has a specific role.
It definitely does, according to the source. It explains that this city is seen as reflecting a larger global drama.
How so?
What happens there is described as being interwoven into the fabric of the human collective. Any changes, any shocks in that location, they send ripples throughout the consciousness of your world.
Like a focal point, then.
An amplifier.
Exactly like an amplifier. It's described as a bright spotlight on a specific stage. a stage where collective fear, anger, and hope all converge.
And why there specifically?
The source points to its dense population and powerful cultural influence. This metropolis, it says, acts as an amplifier of collective energy. It concentrates humanity's hopes and fears. So any imbalance, any tension there just gets magnified, becomes impossible to ignore.
That's the idea presented. It becomes intensely amplified and impossible to ignore. The source sees the agitation as a symptom of an energetic tug-of-war.
A tug-of-war between what?
Between evolution and stagnation. And it sees that struggle happening both locally, in the city, and globally.
Okay.
It also brings in this idea of vast waves of higher frequency light hitting the Earth's energy field. And these waves are hitting certain key locations or energy nodes with particular intensity.
And this city is one of those nodes.
It's described as one such focal node, yes.
So these nodes are just points that are more sensitive to this incoming energy.
That seems to be the meaning in this context, yeah. Locations on the planet that are particularly significant in processing these higher frequencies.
And all this energy stirring things up in these nodes. It sounds like it serves a difficult purpose, from the source's view. Almost uncomfortable.
Yes, very much so. The source frames it as a necessary purging, a purging of the collective psyche. It says these incoming frequencies are stirring up these stagnant pockets. Unresolved trauma, old conflicts held in the collective human consciousness, and they're causing them to erupt to the surface.
And the city is like Exhibit A for this process.
It's presented exactly like that. This urban center exemplifies the effect. Deep social wounds, long suppressed tensions, they're all being pushed into view.
Why?
So they can be acknowledged and healed. That's the key. This process, even though it's tumultuous, is seen as a necessary purge of the old density from the collective system.
It sounds almost like getting sick to get better, like a fever.
The source uses that exact analogy. It calls it a planetary scale healing crisis.
Wow.
Just like a fever rises when the body fights illness, collective discord flares up as these old toxic energies are expelled. And the message posits something interesting here. Every protest, every wave of anger or despair, it triggers an equal and opposite potential for compassion and clarity to emerge.
So revolt and healing are connected.
They dance together, is how the source puts it. A complex choreography happening underneath the chaos we perceive.
This broader perspective really emphasizes that nothing's isolated then.
That's absolutely fundamental to this message. Everything is interconnected. Agitation in one place, it says, reverberates through the collective energy field of Earth.
So this local unrest is tied to a bigger planetary shift.
Directly tied to what the source calls the collective ascension of human consciousness to a higher perception.
And those forces trying to create chaos, the hidden conductors.
They're seen as part of a larger pattern of resistance to this accelerated consciousness shift. Old paradigm energies basically clinging on, trying to maintain control.
But there's a counterphase.
Yes, the message introduces what it calls a fundamental law of energy. For every distortion, every attempt to create imbalance, the universe responds with an offering of alignment and healing. Imbalance naturally seeks balance.
So it's like a cosmic rebalancing act happening constantly.
That's exactly how the source frames it, a great cosmic balancing act. When darkness intensifies, it says, a corresponding light inevitably emerges to meet it and restore equilibrium.
Which brings us back to this specific city, the creative, high contrast one. Seems like a very active spot for this balancing act.
It really is, and the source explains why this city. It's a place of vibrant creativity, innovation, and because of that, the resistance to awakening there has been especially fierce.
Why fierce there? Because of the creativity.
The message argues it's because the light emerging there is equally potent. This city, it notes, is home to many visionaries, healers, creative souls, people who are transmitting, in its terms, powerful waves of progressive thought and spiritual insight.
Okay, so the light is strong, which means the pushback is strong too.
That's the dynamic described. Those who fear change, the source suggests, feel this rising radiance very acutely, and they apply strong counterpressure through creating discord.
But the source also hints that there's something deeper going on, like a subconscious choice.
Yes, it proposes that the collective unconscious of humanity is choosing to illuminate its shadows now, like a deep inner voice within the species, deciding, okay, it's time to face the denied truths.
So the turmoil isn't just external stuff happening to us.
No, it signals that the collective is actually ready, even if subconsciously, to confront what's been hidden. And the message offers that classic reminder.
Darkest before the dawn.
Exactly. Always darkest before the dawn. The appearance of division and conflict often precedes unity and healing. Hidden wounds have to be seen, felt, before they can be transformed and released.
Now, this message seems very specifically aimed at a certain group of people. It mentions Starseeds.
It does. It's presented as being particularly for those who resonate with being part of the ground crew. The source calls them Starseeds, awakened ones.
And who are they, according to this?
They're described as souls carrying a stellar origin consciousness, souls who volunteer to be born on Earth right now for this specific time.
And they're drawn to these intense places like this city.
Yes, the source says many live near or are drawn to this intense vortex of activity. And it stresses this isn't by chance, it's by design.
Why by design? What do they bring?
They carry, it says, unique codes of calm and remembrance, a deep soul knowledge of energy flow, how to direct it for balance. These codes are like seeds of light in their DNA or spirit, containing wisdom from, well, past lives or higher realms.
So the idea is they've done this before, experienced big shifts.
That's part of the perspective offered, yes. Through past experiences, maybe in ancient Earth civilizations, maybe other worlds, they've witnessed upheavals, learned the art of stabilizing energy through your presence and intention.
And they came back now to help.
The message suggests they incarnated specifically to be anchors of light when turbulence like this hits. Knowing humanity would reach this point, knowing their gifts would be needed. This applies, the source says, to Lightworkers, empaths, healers, all conscious beings drawn to assist.
Right.
This is presented as the moment they prepared for over lifetimes. Past challenges forged their compassion, their resilience, their perception.
Okay, so for someone listening who resonates with this idea being a starseed, part of this ground crew, how does the source suggest they can actually help, practically speaking?
Well, the guidance starts quite simply. Trust your being.
Trust your being.
Yeah. The perspective is that their mere presence makes a difference. They function as living beacons, just by being there, radiating calm, creating ripples of stability that others might feel even unconsciously, making them feel safer, more hopeful.
Oh, their internal state is key.
Absolutely crucial. The message stresses, maintain your center, cultivate inner balance, inner peace, to be a pillar of calm.
Does that mean ignoring bad feelings?
No, not denying feelings, but
Yeah.
recognizing them, recognizing events in your responses, and then consciously returning to what the source calls the seat of your higher self.
A higher self.
The part that understands from this view that everything unfolds for growth. From that centered place, you can witness the drama without being, as it says, dragged into it.
Are there specific tools or techniques mentioned?
Yes, the breath is highlighted, a simple, potent tool. How?
The guidance is to physically anchor yourself. Feel your connection to the earth, and then breathe deeply, especially through moments of fear or anger. This is described as actively transmuting dense energies, both within yourself and in the collective field around you.
So each breath helps.
Each conscious breath taken with intention is presented as a ripple of peace emanating outward.
Okay. What about more active forms of support, like doing something?
The source encourages engaging in simple, potent acts of energy work.
Energy work, like what?
It can be visualization, seeing gentle, harmonizing light over the city or in people's hearts. It even mentions specific colors, violet or gold for transmutation, green for healing, or gathering physically or maybe virtually for prayer or meditation. Creating a peaceful energy sphere together. Using sound as another one, toning, singing, sending calming vibrations out.
Does this subtle stuff really make a difference according to the source? The message insists on it. Do not underestimate these subtle interventions. It claims energy from a clear heart and focused intention travels far and creates tangible shifts. You have to trust it's working invisibly, even if you don't see immediate results.
There was also something about neutrality, but it wasn't about being passive.
Right, that's a really key distinction the source makes. It calls it dynamic and loving neutrality.
Dynamic neutrality.
Yeah, it's not a lack of feeling or just resigning yourself. It's described as incredible engagement from the heart while staying centered in truth, even when emotional storms are raging outside.
Because it's easy to get pulled into the drama.
Very easy. Pulled into polarities, taking sides, which just feeds the duality. The guidance is, if you feel drawn into anger or judgment, pause, breathe, return to your center.
So it's about observing without being consumed, like the eye of the storm.
That's the goal, exactly, being the eye of the storm. Present, aware, calm, while the collective emotions are spinning around you. This state, the source says, allows for clearer sight, better discernment.
And from that place, you can send love, even to those causing problems.
Through neutral compassion, yes. Send love to all sides, protesters, angry reactors, even the instigators. It clarifies this isn't agreeing with harmful actions,
Right.
but it's recognizing the spark of humanity in everyone involved, approaching with the only energy that truly heals love.
And this starves the negativity.
Refusing to feed hate with hate or fear with fear effectively starves negative agendas of the energy they need. Anchored neutrality is presented as a powerful catalyst for diffusing conflict, opening space for understanding. And it protects your own energy, too.
Okay, makes sense. And the final piece of guidance was about unity.
Yes. Cultivate unity consciousness. This is the understanding, according to the source, that beyond all the apparent divisions, race, class, beliefs, whatever, humanity is one living organism.
So the city drama is like a family fight.
A microcosm of the whole, exactly, like a family temporarily at odds. You're encouraged to hold the vision of unity, even when separation seems so real. Fragmentation is just a temporary perspective, not the ultimate truth.
How do you hold that vision?
See the divine spark and shared light within each soul. The source suggests starseeds can consciously connect to the network of light, linking all hearts. Visualize those shimmering threads.
Especially when things look bleak.
Exactly. Focus on that connection when division feels overwhelming. Affirm that everyone is part of the same whole, everyone's ultimately seeking resolution, seeking healing. This helps mend the energetic rifts.
Unity consciousness isn't about everyone agreeing, though.
No, definitely not uniformity of opinion. It's about recognizing the common desire for peace, love, and security underneath all the different beliefs and emotions. Operating from that unity perspective makes you a bridge, subtly encouraging others to find common ground, feel their shared humanity. It helps break the spell of otherness that fuels conflict.
The source also mentions support from beyond Earth, cosmic help.
It does, yeah. It talks about vast networks of light, like grids or matrices around the planet, working to strengthen tense areas and raise the vibration.
And this specific city is getting special attention.
It's mentioned as being bathed in loving, concentrated attention from the cosmos.
By who?
The source says, we and our intergalactic brothers are focusing currents of healing light towards Earth, reinforcing the efforts of people on the ground prayer, acting with love.
So they're working behind the scenes.
They're working on subtler planes, it says. To soften the agitation's impact, gently inspire wise leadership, compassionate action, protect the vulnerable. The message is quite direct. We are here in great numbers, surrounding the planet. And apparently, you only need to ask to feel their help more fully.
This perspective also puts current events into a bigger historical context, doesn't it? Not just energetic.
That's a really important layer of the narrative. It places this moment within a historical and galactic context. It states Earth isn't the first planet to go through such a massive, tumultuous shift.
And the Starseeds have seen this before?
From this perspective, yes. They carry soul memories of planetary transformations. Ancient civilizations, maybe, where huge changes happened, fall of cities, sinking lands, times when collective choices led to cataclysms.
So current events might feel oddly familiar to them.
The source suggests exactly that. Echoes of past dramas making things feel grand or strangely familiar. Maybe they even promise to come back, apply wisdom learned the hard way, do things differently this time.
But there's a difference now.
Yes, the message strongly emphasizes this era is truly unique.
How so? What makes it unique?
It says, for the first time in recorded history, there's a grand convergence of cosmic cycles happening. And this convergence favors a massive leap in Earth's consciousness.
A leap!
Yeah, multiple timelines are fusing, it suggests. Old karmic patterns are surfacing for final resolution, all under the light of this unique convergence.
So the turmoil, it's like birth pains.
Explicitly called the birth pains of a new era, humanity's collective soul is in labor, birthing a higher form of being. That's the picture painted.
And there's help to make sure it's a birth, not a collapse.
Yes. The cosmic alignments, the tremendous intergalactic attention focused on Earth, it's all providing assistance, according to the source, to ensure this transition leads to rebirth. It claims never before have so many benevolent forces united for Earth with one purpose.
Wow, yeah.
Allies from beyond Earth understand the stakes, hold the vision for Earth's successful shift, because what happens here will send ripples throughout the galaxy. They're described as deeply invested in your triumph.
It really sounds like, from this source's view, this is all part of some huge, divine process.
That's the core theme, yes. Everything happening now, including the city situation, is part of a divine process of rebirth for humanity. Even if it feels overwhelming, the message encourages viewing it through that higher lens of transformation.
It uses that forest fire analogy.
It does, a forest after a fire.
Yeah.
Looks destructive, right? But the fire clears the way for new growth, releases seeds that need the heat. Similarly, the fires of agitation, it suggests, can wake people up. The tumult acts as a catalyst, forcing big questions into the human heart. How did we get here? What must we change? That soul-searching is seen as invaluable for evolution.
But is it just random, uncontrolled burning?
The source clarifies. No. Unlike a runaway fire, the outcome of this energetic fire is not left to mere chance or chaos. There is a divine directive moving through it, an underlying intelligence of love orchestrating opportunities for renewal.
And who or what is that intelligence?
It's seen as the collective higher self, combined with the divine source will. And the message encourages trusting this higher flow while still actively doing your part. Trusting isn't passive, it's confidence that actions lined with love and wisdom get universal support.
And the Starseeds, the ground crew, they're co-creating this.
That's exactly the role described. By holding their light firmly, they become co-creators with this divine intelligence. Societal transformation isn't just being done to you, it's happening through you and with you.
So every positive choice matters.
Every time compassion is chosen over anger, presence over panic, conscious response over reaction, you align with the timeline of healing, of higher solutions. Doing this guides the collective experience toward the highest outcome, a heart-shaped society, reborn like a phoenix.
Does the source give any sense of, well, when this intensity might ease up, will the storm pass?
It definitely offers encouragement on that front. It says the current intensity will not last forever. It's a storm of energies, yes, but every storm naturally expends itself when its purpose is fulfilled.
Are there signs of calmer skies ahead, according to the source?
Yes, it says glimpses of peace are starting to return, signs of calmer skies ahead.
Like what kind of signs?
Things like communities reconciling, neighbors reaching out, innovative shifts blooming from the hard lessons learned during the turmoil.
And the Starseeds are helping birth this.
They're called the midwives of this new reality being born. By staying true to their inner wisdom, their love, they hasten the passage of the storm and illuminate the dawn that follows.
And this city, the City of Angels, has a special destiny in this.
Yes, in this view, it's destined to truly live up to its name in a new way. Emerging from this trial, stronger, more awakened, its spirit can then radiate inspiration, creative solutions globally. Pain gives way to renewal. Its journey becomes a beacon.
So ultimately, the core message is what? Empowerment.
Security and empowerment. That's it. No matter how dark it seems, light is present and it's growing.
And you're not alone in this. That seems key too.
A huge point. The message states, you have more help than you imagine and more power within you than you realize. Innumerable souls, globally and invisibly, working alongside you, even if it's not on the news.
Right.
Your divine spark, it says, can ignite great change. Even the smallest act of kindness, the smallest shift towards love, creates magnified chain effects. Never think you are insignificant.
Every loving choice sends a wave.
Exactly. Contributing powerfully to the outcome. Together, these waves calm the storm, reveal the brighter future. Unwavering support and love are offered. You can feel this presence, it suggests, in sunlight after rain, a gentle breeze, quiet peace amid chaos, tangible signs.
So it's a team effort, human and divine.
A collaborative effort, human and divine, yes. A sacred co-creation. The source is clear, though. They can't do your growth for you, but they walk with you, lend strength.
And there's honor in just being here now.
Deep honor. For choosing to be on Earth now, it's seen as a testament to courage, resilience, soul commitment to light. Many in the cosmos admire this mission under intense conditions. You're reminded to honor yourselves, honor each other. Everyone plays a crucial role. Healing yourself helps heal the world. Embrace unity among those serving the light. Support each other, share wisdom, stand together in spirit.
And the very final point seems to be about trust.
It really is. Trust that truly everything is unfolding as it should, even when events seem random or unjust. A higher order is working through them towards balance. The dawn is breaking. Hold on to that truth, wrapped in love, walked beside always. Welcome to the new dawn. That's the closing sentiment.
Okay, so just to pull the main threads together from this specific source, it paints a picture of current city turmoil, not just as random chaos, but as part of a much larger energetic shift, kind of healing crisis.
Right. Influenced, it says, by both hidden forces trying to maintain control and a higher divine orchestration, using the chaos for awakening.
And it gives a really specific role to people who resonate with being Starseeds or ground crew, offering practical guidance, centering, neutrality, that dynamic unity consciousness energy work.
And plus that idea of vast cosmic support being involved. It provides a framework, as presented by the source, for trying to make sense of things, maybe finding your own place within these intense events.
It certainly offers a different lens. And it leaves you thinking, if, as this message suggests, everything hidden is being exposed, and there is a higher orchestration at play even within the chaos, well, how might seeing the world through that specific lens change your perspective on the events you witness every day?
Definitely a thought to ponder, based on the perspective we've explored in this deep dive.